Help us, the call from operators of Hope Zoo to the Jamaican government. The zoo, which has been in operation for over decades, faced the possibility of closure due to lack of revenues. Hence, it's looking towards the government and the private sector for assistance. Frontline Business visited the Hope Zoo on Friday, where we spoke to Zoo Director Mrs. Valerie Dugan-Brown. Mrs. Brown told Frontline Business that 40% of the zoo's workforce had to be slashed. However, that still has not helped in combating the cash-strapped zoo. She was asked if other options were being explored.
Well, we have been doing Zoom classes. Mr. Brown has been doing Zoom classes to help us with revenues, and we have been doing that throughout all the schools in Jamaica, so to earn revenue.
And Mrs. Brown responded to the question of the zoo's entry fee being too expensive for the lower class of society.
Well, what we have been doing is that we have a program called the Zoo Cycle Program. If you bring 20 plastic bottles, you come in for free. So we have been looking at it. But then, as you can see, we have an expanse of land and animals to look after, so we have to charge.
Frontline Business understands that a significant portion of the zoo's expenses has to do with feeding of the animals, but zoo curator Joey Brown says that cannot be curtailed.
No, the last thing we're going to let is cut expenses on is the animal care, animal feed. I think we go over $1 million a month in just animal feed, and if we're having, money expenses, we can't cut back. We ensure our animals are getting the proper feed. We import a lot of our feed from the U.S. for our flamingos, for our kangaroos, a lot of these exotic animals. So they have to get these kind of pretty much essential nutrients and essential feeds. And so we're not going to make cutbacks on that because
we can't. They just won't eat it.
Yeah, we're not going to let our animals suffer. So we have to look at other ways to cut maybe expenses or other ways to bring in more money as well.
Now, with no end in sight of government funding, the operators are appealing to both the government and the private sector to help keep the zoo open.
We're appealing to the government. The funding that they used to give, they'll be so kind enough as to give it to us again. I know it's in the pipeline, it just needs to happen.
Now, with all the reasons why not to close the zoo, the question now being asked, is there hope for Hope Zoo? I'm Carrie Ann Simpson for Frontline Business.